Take a look at the stories on the front pages of the National Daily today. We'll be looking at 5 newspapers. And to be doing that with us is the lecturer from the University of Lagos, Dr. Dan Ekere, our regular mostly on today and Wednesdays. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Good morning.
You're welcome. Yeah. So it's the Thursday rather. Well, we'll start with the Punch newspaper, and the major story here, Buhari okays $1 billion equipment for military. Bring back our girls, CDHR, others knock president. There were complaints during the initial announcement, and now that the money has been disbursed, Nigerians are still complaining anyway.
Well, there will always be complaining. I have no problem really with equipping the military. I have no problem with that. No, but it all depends on what funds you are deploying to do that. Already, you make budgetary provisions for all of that. So if you have budgeted for the military and you are releasing such allocation to the military for equipment or whatever, I have no issues with that. You see, but where you begin to rob Peter to pay Paul, then it becomes a problem. And I think that is where the issue really, lies, because there were a lot of, uproar over this $1 billion that was to be plowed into security. Very omnibus kind of name.
Initially, to fight Boko Haram.
Yeah, from Boko Haram later to security. Now, security is not defined. Security is not about the Nigerian army. I mean, there are a lot of agencies that are involved in security. So, if you are now equipping the Nigerian army, what happens to others? Now, we need the police as much as we need the army. Has the police equally been equipped, or is this one equally taking care of the police? So we need to look at all of that. Ordinarily, I think the army should be well equipped in order to be able to deal with every form of insurrection and attack on our territorial integrity. But at the same time,
what about internal security?
That is where the police comes in, and the police is very. As a matter of fact, in certain climes, you hardly know the army. You hardly hear of them, except where there are issues between one country and the other. It is the police that are usually, involved in the security, day-to-day security of the lives and properties of the people. But here, we have a police force that I feel is not well equipped. So you need to equally consider the police in doing a thing of this kind.
Anyway, Governor of Ayodele of Ekiti State says that money is for 2019 election. Well, of course, the government has told us what the purpose is for anyway. So we go to the top of the paper from the left. Oyegu, governors back Buhari, APC to meet on fresh congresses at last, standing by the Constitution. What
is the fear of Oyegu self to start with? Why is it? I mean, why is it so troubled about following the Constitution?
What about his supporters?
Forget about supporters. Somebody has to be there for you. In fact, supporters means that there's somebody to support.
Exactly.
So if you who is being supported say don't support me, what will happen? The man, I don't see any reason why Oyegu should even be interested in such a tenure elongation. If you want to seek re-election, assuming the Constitution provides for that, let him do that.
At the convention,
the convention is the right place to put all of that in place. So this idea of backdoor arrangement, of extension and all of that, I don't think is the best. We need to, begin to strengthen our democracy to the point that even the political parties have a good, practice of democracy. So I think it's a good idea.
Okay, headsman kill man, wife, 2 children in Taraba State. Another sad incident.
Too sad. I think this Boko Haram thing, I don't know whether it has manifested into, herdsmen also, because you never can tell what strategies those people are using. They could decide to move, cattle and also turn sudden herdsmen with the guys, with the intention to perpetrate the kind of mayhem they are used to. Yes. So we really need to be very, and I don't think the government is doing enough in this area of herdsmen. I don't think so.
Okay. Let's just quickly run through the remaining stories. INEC issues notice of 2018 Ekiti governorship election, July 14th. Dapchi, Leah's mom to attend Abuja prayer session today. 6 passengers driver die in Lagos crashes. Buhari, Saraki Dogara, Mont Katsina Senator, ex-rep Ugunewe. Cholera hits Yobe, kills 13 in 6 days. West African nations to inaugurate regional electricity market in June. And then FG demands justice for rep's son killed in UK. But what about justice for those killed on a daily basis within the country as well?
Yeah. Let's move to the Nation newspaper now. Oyegun loses extension bid as Buhari stays firm. Jigawa governor likely to chair convention And then the NEC meets on Monday. We've talked about this. And then we have other headlines there. Buhari releases $1 billion to battle insecurity. And we also have Ekiti 2018. INEC issues election notice. Money laundering, government to deregister NGOs. This is a new development.
Well, you know, there was a bill, I think on the floor of the House or so, talking about, you know, NGOs and the rest, and a lot of, you know, people were raising all manner of objections and all of that. So now I really don't know the state of that bill. You know, whether it passed through to the point of becoming a law, I don't know. And even if it did, I can't even tell what the content is as we speak. So NGOs ordinarily, their motives should be known, but unfortunately too, you find out that some people equally use those things to perpetrate all manner of fraudulent activity. So I think the government just have to put his, you know, his hands on ground, eyes on ground, and all hands should be on deck to ensure that we have a sanitized system. I think that's just the bottom line.
Okay. All right, we have MPC predicts fragile but promising growth. That was the Central Bank of Nigeria governor was releasing that information yesterday. The government demands justice from UK for slain Nigerian. We have some of these issues across different countries of the world.
All over the world. They happen everywhere. They happen everywhere. Of course, you will always find in every system, you know, some form of deviance. In the US, we see how, you know, all manner of sporadic shootings have taken place in schools and what have you. So it is usually not the government that, you know, engineers this kind of a thing. So such situations can be taken care of. And interestingly, it happened in a place where at least laws are upheld. So I want to believe that the law will take its due course on such a person.
All right, so on the Daily Sun, the major story, APC governors shop for new chairman, agree with Buhari's no tenure elongation stance, settle for elective convention. Well, some are already touting former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, as a favorite. Well, there has to be a Congress.
So anyway. is it the heritage of the Edos or what?
Well, everything is based on zoning, so you can imagine that.
So the zoning does not expire, or you go as a full tenure.
If presidency doesn't expire, the zoning of the presidency,
the tenure is still on. So
okay, so he goes with it.
Is that
right?
All right, so another sad story atop of the paper: 3 die as billboard crashes into bus in Lagos. Very sad. Herdsmen wipe out family of 4 in Taraba State. We already talked about that. Swan makes Wike grand patron. That should be Sports Writers Association of Nigeria. Igbo are Jews, says Bishop Orizu. And then US-UK envoys visit Otedola, holds talks on economy. That's about it.
Well, the issue of Igbo as Jews, that has been traced, and researchers have come. There is no link between the Igbo tribe in Nigeria and the Jews.
No,
in
but
Israel.
what even if there is a link? What will happen? Suppose
well,
there's a link. So of what consequences is it?
But there is no link from even the Israelis have
just recently.
They have come up with
there's
no link between the Igbos and the.
It's inconsequential whether there is a link or not.
Well, maybe it's a thing of pride.
What pride is it? That the king
let's move on now. The Vanguard newspaper: APC governors back Buhari to end Oyegun others' tenure. We have other riders. Their party agrees to hold national convention. Oyegun others can contest. Now, governors prevail on Oyegun National Working Committee to bend to Buhari. And we have other headlines: alleged $49 billion unremitted oil funds. Why Desiani wasn't indicted? Makarfi saying that. And Niger communities raise alarm over invasion by suspected herdsmen. This is another issue that is coming up. Insecurity. Buhari okays $1 billion for procurement of military equipment. And federal government profiling of NGOs over money laundering and terrorism. And we have the picture, bold picture of the governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, who strained his leg or his left foot a few days ago.
And he's in crutches.
He's on crutches.
Well, he's a human being and is susceptible to any other thing that happens to a human. So Yaya Bello is no bigger than accident. Accident can happen to anybody. So I really don't think it should be any issue we should waste our energy on. No.
You wonder why he even made the front pages of some
well, because he's a governor. I think that is just the reason. Otherwise, there are so many people moving with clutches. I don't know why the Vanguard has not brought them on their
Not just the Vanguard, even the Punch.
So what is so important about Yaya Bello breaking his leg or having dislocation or whatever, are moving in clutches. So he's just a human being.
All right.
You know.
Are you through?
Yeah.
Okay, so we go to the last paper this day. APC governors close ranks with Buhari, ditch Oyegun, exco. Party prepares for Congress's convention. NEC to meet Monday. All right, atop the paper, US-UK envoys meet with Otedola, discuss investment opportunities. Buhari okays release of $1 billion from excess crude account, excuse me, to fight insecurity. And then MPC retains NPR at 14%, urges savings to guard against oil price shocks. Wants contractors' debts paid to reduce NPLs. There were assurances at the beginning of the year that maybe by mid-year 2018 that the NPR, the interest rates could reduce, but still setting it at this time in April at 14%. Is there any hope, really?
Well, the challenge really is that I have no, I do not think that it would have been better than this, so far the way looking at the entire terrain. So retaining it is just like everything going normally, but I think we should work towards that goal of having, a single digit, because this idea, banks, like I said, when we study economics at the elementary level, we were made to understand that they contribute to, productivity, they contribute to growth, by way of loans and the rest of it.
And credit.
Today, yes, and credit. So today, going to the bank to take a loan is like being on a suicide mission, and I don't think it's helping the economy. But it is not their fault. There are so many factors that come to play to bring about that situation. And I think the CBN should work hard towards ensuring that we get to that point.
And even the government itself, because the policies drive
policies
all
are
of
quite
those.
interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely.
Dr. Danekere, thank you very much for giving us insight into the analysis. But we'll be keeping you for the next analysis.
Yes.
Now, stay with us on TVC Breakfast as we go on break. We will come back to dwell on the Apapa Road that will be shut down for repairs. Stay with us.